Hello there and good afternoon. This is Akinsami Emmanuel, and my name is Akinsami, like I said, and I'm a chaplain trained from the International Christian Chaplains Association, ICCA. That's the College of Chaplains that I represent as the Chief Executive Director here in Africa. The headquarters is at 1494 Fall River Avenue, Seekonk in Massachusetts. Welcome today to this afternoon. I just choose to come out here to do this very video, a kind of a repeat of the one I did over the weekend that was not having any voice. I did that actually in the almost midnight or after midnight, after having a discussion with my childhood friend Bishop Chris Matthew over the agony of a minister, the pains of ministry, and how to actually be sustained in ministry. By the grace of God today, between 1983 to now, I think that is not actually too short a period to be in ministry, to be able to explain to some people on how exactly the journey has been and could be. I'm deliberately sitting under this, just by this tree here, if you look at it, with some of the fruits you can see. I deliberately sit here to also make some illustrations that if you look at this tree today with all of the stuff you can see there, you will say, oh, the mango tree is yielding and ready for eating once it's ripe. But there was a time that they were not as big as this. This is the bigger one. There was a time it was not as big as that. Behind this one, there is the avocado. If you look at inside of that, behind this is another mango. Behind there is a lemon tree. And then if you look there, there's another lemon tree there. Now, all of these, they have their time that, or they had their times that they were being watered. They were being nurtured. But the time comes when they start yielding, fruiting. Can't remember when last any of us in this house, picked a bucket of water to put water or to water any of these once again in the last few years that we have been eating from them. That's exactly how the life we live, the ministry we do is. A time comes for laboring, a time comes for nurturing, and a time comes for fruiting, which is a harvest. And if you look at all of that, you have, the illustration to give to yourself, or the patience to tell yourself that life is actually in phases. And if you don't want to take it that way, you may crash land. Another problem you may have is when you start looking at other people and where they are, how they are, what they have, and all of that, you may still put yourself into a big mess of depression. I remember I told my friend Bishop Chris Matthew about if a hunter, like they say in Yoruba land, will consider or think of the pains, the troubles, the sufferings he went through in the forest, in looking for animals to kill for meat. When he comes back, if he thinks of those pains, he would probably not want to give anyone of the meat to eat at all. So also with ministry. If a pastor, a minister would think of the problems, the pains he went through or he goes through, he probably would not want to even share anything with anybody. Now, notwithstanding, people will even say to you, is this the kind of meat your mates have killed from the bush? This person killed elephant. That one killed antelope and all of that, and you are bringing in just a little rabbit. Another thing is that God sends us to different places with different terrors, different environment, different experiences. But He equips us differently. And this is why I am not too in for those that tell you that they arrived where they are just like that. I appreciate telling people that you went through it. You went through it. Like I said that day, many persons may never believe that I have also gone through some experiences that the church, so-called church people today are going through in terms of, hardship, in terms of pains. I'm still going through some things. In fact, I still go through plenty of things. I just came back from the college right now where we went to, level gravels. Thank God I have, stones, or what you call, I make fun of it that I have quarry at the back of our college where we've got a lot of stones. If you have ever seen the back of our place, we have lots of, stones that we're able to, get out of the land. Now from there, we started cracking them and bringing them, little by little into small pieces and trying to use it now to beautify the environment and, also to deal with the issue of, messed up places because of erosion and all of that during rainy season, for beauty, for security, and for also protecting the ground. I still do that. Now, my kind of pastor is not the type that sits down and, call the shots, as it were. Again, if you have the money, what stops you from calling the shots? But I'm more of, my father was a builder, a bricklayer, if you get to know that. And I followed him all through the time, while I was still with them as a young boy or small boy, in building houses. I followed him, fetched water, plastered houses, molded blocks, as it were, built wells. So I knew some things about buildings. So it's going to be difficult for anyone in our congregation today to bamboozle me with issue of building. I'm not used to. I can't sit down and just, okay, you go and do that. No, I don't have that stuff. And that may make some people to misunderstand me, that it doesn't rest. It doesn't want to, let others do the job. It's not so. It's because I was brought up with that. So I am a working pastor. I want people to, let's go. If there's work, we'll get it done. I'm more of a direct labor person. Everything you see in our ministry today, that was how it was done. All the buildings, I can tell you what was at any point. So if I have members who don't understand me, they might think that I am just a one-man person. He doesn't want to delegate job for people to do. No, I know exactly what I want to do. For example, I am converting so many things together today. The building we bought, breaking this one, turning it into this, breaking that one, getting this out of it. If you, maybe when I'm done, and we put a little bit of video of what we're doing, you'll see them. We just keep cutting some things and adjusting it and doing that. It doesn't mean that we don't delegate. We do. The second reason why I'm into that is that I don't have the much finances to give out contracts. Maybe if anybody's been angry over that, please don't be offended. I've not really given out big contracts to people. I call the Messi, I tell them what I want, we pay them the money. Some of them, they charge us, okay, in bulk, this is what I'm going to take for the whole thing. And some, they will tell us, okay, we'll pay them per day. So this is why it may look like, oh, this guy just walk, but you see, look at me and see today. I'm resting now gradually, and at over 60, I think anyone at my age should be able to tell you the truth without mixing it. There's something about this life. If you don't do what you have to do when you are strong, you will suffer for it when you are weak. Did you hear me? You get to a point where your child will be asking you, Baba, Daddy, what were you doing when you were younger? Especially when they look at your mates, your age groups. Yes, God does not give us the same assignment, but what were you doing? What assignment did God give you, and what did you do with it? What is the principle of God's word that you followed? So ministry-wise, I've met quite a number of people who have helped me. I tell you that. And I always in my life have met people who were direct labor people. So that's why sometimes when people who have never met me before and they meet me, they say, oh, maybe he's a pepperless person. I'm not. I am a rugged one-man fighter in the sense that I can decide to build. Even the house where I live here, I was involved in the building. when they were building, and they all know, the bricklayers, they know that this man's father was a bricklayer, and so he knows what we're trying to do. We cannot, so that's why I said, if I know what I want to do, sometimes the plan, we will draw it and then we'll give it to the people to come and, walk. That was how my father used to do. I used to see my father drawing the plan with his hands in those days. So ministry is the same thing. The church we built, that's the same way we built it. I was there. I can tell you from beginning to the end. I know what was and what is. So if you are building a ministry and you don't know the foundation, you don't have the understanding of what it is. It's like these trees I'm talking about. This one's here. The reason why I can sit here and tell you is that I know what, when we planted it, what is there, that today we are now eating from the fruit. But many persons today, young people, especially ministries, ministers, they don't want to work for these things, and they just want immediately to get the money. You see a young boy today, 13, 14 to 18, 25, they want to ride the best of cars in ministry. A young boy of 25, wants to drive the biggest of cars. That's why many of them don't last. Now, I want to say to you that ministry is beautiful. Like Bishop Chris was saying, that some people, if you lie down on the floor for them to march on you and pass, somebody will still tell you that you are not lying flat enough for them to climb. Did you hear that? You are lying down for people to climb on you. You tell them, okay, come and climb on me. Somebody will still say you are not lying flat enough for them to pass. That's the world we live in. If they know that your head is flat enough to carry the load, they wouldn't mind putting everything on you, and it's your business, they will say. So today, in case you are in ministry and you suffer some things and you are not yet getting the fruits, keep waiting, watering, and nurturing. If the watering time has passed, keep nurturing. Keep expecting God's mercy to come. People will always be people. Men will always be men. There are some that you will labor over, you do everything for them, but they may not be the one that God is going to use to reward you. Now, rather than getting angry with people and offended at people and making God look like he doesn't know that you are there, why not just, like I said the other day, why not just think of maybe God does not want you to be alone? One of my, son and brother in the Lord was saying today, 2 days ago, that a pastor was preaching and said, all of you must own your businesses. All of you must own your own place. All of you must be, strong chief executive and entrepreneurs. You must stop working for people. Then he said, he asked the question, to himself, if everybody is standing on his own, working for himself and by himself, who will work for others? Who will do what he cannot do? So you see, there are some of us that God has called to be very good, able armor bearers. The suffering will not be this much if we all know what God has called us to do early enough. And so I want to plead with you today, Pastor, or any leader that is here, especially ministers. It's not that it's out of place to serve people, but if you know that you don't have the capacity, don't go into suffering. If I had it to do all over again today and to start ministry, I will get a job or be doing a business that will not stop me from doing ministry, because I wouldn't want to be a burden to anybody. All the way from the time I started, thank God he helped us. Our own days were very rough and rugged. This is the National Institute of Sports. I was to work there after my graduation from the university, because it was quite close to the University of Lagos. My mother still says it till tomorrow, that when my son finished university, there were many places to work, but he said God called him. Those days, yes. But today, I will advise you, a young minister, if you are called into ministry and you've just finished your school or whatever, except where there's an express instruction, but not when you get midway now, and then financial tests begin to come, financial challenges begin to come, and you now start thinking of what to do. Because by the time you get married to that girl, you have that child, the challenges will come. The whole thing will change. The parade will change. And I do hope by then you will not begin to think of, the opportunity that you would have had. Then now it's gone, because opportunity does not wait for anybody. Now it's important that you put common sense in what you're doing, this generation that you're in. There's nothing wrong if you pick up a job. There's nothing wrong if you have a business you can be doing. If I had to do today again, I would not mind opening a shop or a supermarket. I'll be there doing my counseling, doing my ministry, and then I will be doing the church. And when it's time for service, I'll go to church. And I will make sure that at least the little money I'm getting is able to take care of me and involve my family. God has helped me this far. So I want to advise today to those of you that may listen to this and minister, it's not a sin if you get something doing. Even at this stage that you are, if you have people that can help you, I always say it, get help. Don't fool yourself. Don't be too proud to say, the people must give to me. No. You can get yourself fixed up. Whatever God has called you to, you have small business you can add to it, do it. And still make sure that you do business. I have been the ministry of, education all the while, doing education work. I didn't pick a job other than the National Youth Service thing I did for 1 year. And then from there I picked up. But that time when we're collecting 250 naira per month as a copper, I used that, and thank God for 4 or 5 other people that joined me. 4, yes. Brother with me, Sister Eniton, Sister Joy, and myself. Yes, 4 of us particularly were the ones that were committed to the ministry work when we were building Gateway Christian Church at Tina Junction. Then those days in Jos when we started. We're contributing 100 naira every month. Out of that 250, may God bless Adewumi, Eniton, and Joy Irarebo. May God bless all of you, wherever you are today. They were there for the work of the Lord to support what I was doing. Particularly Sister Joy's parents, may God help them. May God grace them. Our father that is still alive, may God bless you, sir. You know why I'm talking like this today? They released her. They sent us money to do the work. They sent us food because we're all serving in Jos. She was involved while I was here. Eniton was, in Jos. Adewumi was living with me then. Adewumi is a barrister. Joy, I think, a microbiologist. I think Eniton did another, social science course or so. And we thank God. We had other people, but these were the key people that actually, helped me with finances. It's very, very difficult if there is no support financially when you're starting a ministry. If you don't want to go into voodoo, charms, and all these things that people do today to get crowd, you will need solid integrity, and you will need character, and you will need people that will be able to stand by you to help you. Don't suffer yourself for too long, young man or young woman. Take your time. And then I thank God. I could even incorporate the ministry since that time until 2012. But today, if I want to incorporate another thing tomorrow, today, by the grace of God, I get it done. Because God has raised people to help me. So don't be in a hurry. Don't look at anybody's, horse to run. Don't. Just, get yourself started. When people see that you have, you believe in your vision, you are actually laboring over it, God will bring some people. But don't forget this, not all of them will stay. Not all of them will be there with you forever. So don't be too hard on yourself, and then maybe get angry that people would, they left you. They will definitely leave. Some will leave, some will stay. Do you understand? So I pray today that those of you that God is calling into ministry, or you are in ministry already, and you don't really understand what is happening to you. It's not the devil. Now so it be. It happens like that. You definitely will pay the price. But I want to encourage you, please try and get something, no matter how small, that will keep you going. And if you are married, like I told a young man who's married to a medical doctor, a young girl, I said to the pastor, I said, don't let God punish you. Make sure that you take care of this girl. This girl is bringing you her salary. She, bought the car you are using for yourself and herself and the family. I said, take her to the hospital in the morning, drop the children in the hospital, in the school, go pick all of them. Pick the children, drop them, and then in the evening when she closes, go and pick her. Because you are lucky. We didn't have such opportunities. Do you understand? So we started as a lone, bachelor, and we went through it. So make sure you take care of this girl and your children. And I think you got the message. I gave him my own example. So please, as many of you that God is called today, especially those of you who are independent ministries, if you know that you don't have the grace and the strength to do it, join up with someone. Pick up a job. Don't suffer yourself unnecessarily. And then at the end of the day, get a mentor that you can actually always talk with and talk to, who will advise, who will counsel you and tell you nothing is happening to you that has not happened to people before. When I first, bought the first Mercedes-Benz 230, I was asking the man there, a minister in this town, hey, they told me that it is consuming, it consumes fuel and all of that. The man said, the way God is providing for those that are using it, He will provide for you. I used that Benz until I sold it for 80,000 naira. And so, when it comes to the issue of buying cars, a pastor and all of that, don't copy anybody. Buy a simple car that can be mobile and be able to take you to where you're going, not the car that will drive you. I've driven different cars. If you know what they call Kankara, I did Kankara a lot in Jos here, where you buy Kankara is where you buy one, you will give it to them, ask more money, pick another one, ask more money, until I did it until a point where I was able to do Kankara that has air conditioner. Yeah. So they used to call me Kankara Major in my family. My children and my wife, say Kankara Chief, and all of that. All of those things are stages. They will come and pass. Do you understand? Today, car is not the issue that actually is a problem that I want to kill myself over. I make it easy for myself that I can fly bike, I can take care, I can do anything. Depends on, and of course my training as a chaplain helps me too. So I take this time today to explain this far long to you, so that maybe you are in one of these conditions right now. Don't think you are out of the will of God. It's part of the things that you go through. It's part of the deal. Devil will not just leave you to just go like that. You must pass through the gate, and he must check you out. Do you understand? So, and be careful when it comes to the issue of, you got to go abroad. Because people think ministry is all about, I've been to America when I was in London. I was in America the second week. I asked them, I want to go home. Some people had me here say, you say, I want to come back to where? You are in America, I want to come back home with a grace. I said, America is not heaven. The people, I thought, you think they are picking money. Yeah, they are not picking money. Even up to now, ask your brothers and sisters who are there. They are not picking dollars on the ground. Today, one of my friends told me, say, America does not dash anybody money. The system is programmed to take from you what they give to you. Did you hear me? So you got to work for every dime you get from America or London, anywhere you live in the Western world. So let's begin to thank God for what God is doing. I was happy to hear today of the Dangote refinery, that of Boa that is coming up, another one again coming up in the southeast. Refineries, and of course our own Port Harcourt refinery is also, another smaller one is being built inside there. You may not know. Kaduna one is still under construction and all of that. Readjustment they are doing to it. Let's not see evil about our country, because the raw materials that Dangote was talking about, that they were using to do fertilizers and other things, and they were sending out, and then they will come and sell it back to us. We have them now, and by the grace of God, you can see the fuel has come down to this particular amount now, 600 plus. And if you look at the mega stations have increased. Thank God for Mr. President's sacrifice. Do you understand? So if you know you cannot pray for this country and pray for the president, stop talking against him. Stop, just stay, day your day. Let those of us that believe in the change, positive change in Nigeria, let us all be saying the thing. Give us rest. Don't tell us of your negativisms and negativities again. If you know you can't pray for the president, you can't pray for his cabinet, you can't pray for his policies, you can't wait for the change, please, you may pack your load and go to your village. Not only that, or go to wherever you want to go and start all over there. But we believe in the Nigeria that is imagined, that this country is coming out better than before. If you cannot see the change, it's only someone who is blind or that is having problem that will say nothing is happening. As it is today, go and ask in Abuja, the trains will start working within Abuja. Do you understand? Little changes. Let's acknowledge and appreciate it. I say it again with all boldness and with a sense of responsibility. If you cannot pray for the president and you cannot pray for the country Nigeria, please leave us alone. You may go to anywhere you want to go. Do you understand me? Leave us alone. There is enough in this country to take care of everybody with good management. And that is what we are praying for, that God will help our management. God will help our leadership, that they'll be able to help us. Don't forget this, that there's no country that emerged today that they call themselves first world that did not go through this terrain, even worse than this. So please, leave us and let us rest. Make we day our day. If you don't want to stay, make you carry your kaya, no problem. When things better, you can come back. But for those of us who are here, don't discourage us. Enough is enough. The country is changing, and I'm grateful to God that prices will begin to come down. Those of you that said that, electric cars, gas-run cars cannot work here, wait and see. It's working in some states already. The northeast governors, if you look at what they are planning right now, God has blessed them with sun. You can see they are already working on raising 10 megawatts of energy in their own places, and they are blessed with sun. You will soon see the solar power thing. So why would we not encourage ourselves and trust God for this beautiful thing to begin to happen in our country? The Western world will eventually come to understand. They already know the liberation and the freedom of Nigeria and African countries is going to be a big blow to many of them, and that's why they will do anything, anything, to frustrate any leader, through some unscrupulous indigents of Africa. But God will not allow it. We will see the good days again in Nigeria. We will see the better days again in Nigeria, in the name of Jesus. Remember what I said? If you cannot pray for this country, if you cannot be patient enough for this country, and you cannot pray for the president and his cabinet with what they are doing, and look at it, if Dangote says he can supply, that what he has, Nigeria cannot consume it, the petroleum products and the gasoline and all of the petroleum products that he will be producing, that we cannot contain it enough, he's going to be able to supply West African countries. Let's wait and see what happens to Europe. Let's wait and see what happens to them when this supplies, when this loading, that's the word, begins. When they begin to load in any of these, refineries, watch what happens. And I pray that God will give the present leaders the wisdom and the will, the political will, to get things right in the name of Jesus. Whether you're a Muslim, you're a Christian, all we owe them now is prayer, and stop the curses and the castigations. We are getting there, and you know it. People start down sometime and they say dollar will get to whatever thousands he called. This same February he said it. But we know that with the way God is helping us, we are gradually going to come to that place. Call it ignorance. Many people are talking. They don't have information. They don't fact find. They just talk, and they go out there confusing people. If you cannot pray for this country, please leave us alone. Let us be. Make your day your day, we day our day. Whatever you're convinced to do, go ahead and do it. But for those of us who believe in this country, who wants to stay in this country, who wants to see the goodness of this country, who wants our children to have a better future, let us continue to say, God bless Nigeria. Nigeria will experience a tremendous change and financial explosion in this country again. God bless Nigeria, and God bless you in Jesus' name. Amen.